Everyone, hi. Bruce Mufson, LCSW, SUNRIDGE, Nevada. Come and get with a live stream. Tonight's live stream is called How to Be Successful at Work, how to be successful in your career. And the reason why I want to talk about this topic is, we've got a lot of responses when we bring things up. People generally will tend to ask us, what should I look for in work? What should I be expecting at work? What kind of work should I go into? A lot of questions about that, a lot of confusion, and a lot of, in a sense, almost mystery. And there's also a million websites and a million topics about what about a toxic culture at work? What if you got a racist boss? What if the work is unfulfilling? Should I leave my job, start a new career? Can I do it in the 50s? What skills do I need? And, they're all valid. They're all good. It's not a problem. We actually had a few that told us about trying out a different site where they talk about those kinds of topics. And it was fine, what people are talking about and the different ideas. But I want to talk about it from my clinical perspective. Working now, since started working when I was in my teens, but now I'm 58. Been working, 30 years, more of my life. And what have I learned from it? What things are relevant? What things are important? And what things you really need to understand to get the most out of work, even if it's an unpleasant situation, you're not really happy with your job, you feel you're not learning anything. What is it that you need to learn to be successful when you start work? As always, the floor is open. Any questions you have, fire away. I want to hear what you guys have to say, particularly about this topic. What do you need to know on how to be successful when you're going to start work, when you're going to be at work? So, without any further ado, here we go. All right. Before you even take a job at any kind of company, when I say this, I'm being very serious about that. Whether it's A to Z, nonprofit, for-profit, I don't care what the business is, from A to Z, do your due diligence on the situation. It's amazing how many people don't do this and do what I call a pregame in anything. I think that's so important, not just in work, but in relationships, in friendships. Do due diligence. What are you walking into in a situation? When you consider how many hours you spend at work, and work often becomes like your family, your workers that you work with, it's really a good idea to get to know the culture before you start. All right, so the first thing you want to do is this: read reviews. Usually Yelp is a great answer for this, really, really helpful. But I don't care if it's Yelp or any other site to go to. Learn about your company, learn about your industry, learn what kind of odds you're going into. How many people do they turn over in a year? What do they say about your company? How do they treat women? How do they treat minorities? What if you're gay? What if you're a hard charger? What's the salary? What's the culture like? How are people treated? They given a chance to grow? Look for those questions, and you'll be surprised what you're going to find out about how a company's culture is defined. Read, be proactive. Okay, next. All right. Any place that will tell you what people think of the place. If people from the company go to a certain bar, they go to a certain restaurant for lunch, go there, mingle. Hey, you guys work for that place? What's it like? People will be amazing when they're not feeling pressure or under the gun. They'll share with you. But make an effort to learn about the company by talking to employees. The stuff they're going to send you, the HR publication or the corporate statement, trust me, means nothing. Everyone says the exact same thing. We're all wonderful. We're all great. We're all here to serve humanity. Blah, 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 blah. You get nothing out of it. It's when you talk to people that you get a real insight of what you're walking into. Okay. Next, ask key questions. Of course, you're going to be asking about the salary, and there's wiggle room for that. And there's techniques on how to get more money. We try and get what you want, all to the good. I always tell people, always ask more than what they're offering. Never settle for the first offer. And then there's always a lot of other tricks on how to get even more money out of it. If you can get more money at any job, all the power to you, great. All right. But ask this question to the people hiring. If it's one person, and now a lot of places have 3 people that are going to be in an interview. Here's what you say to them. What happened to the person or persons before me? Now, if they say something like, well, Bruce was here for 25 years and he retired to go fishing and hang out with his grandkids, you kind of got your answer. People like the position. But if you're going to hear things, well, she was here for a year. He was here for 14 months. You're the fourth person in 5 years to give a shot at this job. More than likely, you're not going to buck the trend. You're going to be gone within a year as well. So just put that in your mind already and have that in your mindset. You are not going to be there very, very long before you're going to be gone and someone else is going to be replacing you. Again, floor's open. Any questions, feel free to shoot them in. So just be aware that you're not going to be the one that's going to change anything. You will probably be fired. So what you're there for is to try and see what you can get out of the situation for yourself. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But be realistic. Like, people will say things like, oh, it's a hire and fire company. You rarely last there very long. But I'm going to show them I got what it takes. I got the skills. I got the power. They're going to love me. They probably won't. Be realistic about your situation and how you define yourself. Okay. Ask questions of the boss and manager. As a guy who's been interviewed and as a guy who has sat through interviews, many times when I say to people, you have any questions for us? No, you answered everything. I'm pretty good. I'm all right. I don't know why people don't have a chance to ask questions. Now's your time. Ask questions. Here are questions you want to ask. What is your managerial style? For instance, are you hands-on? On the flip side, are you hands-off? You're never around. So if I have a problem, I can't go to you. I can't find you. Do you fight for your employees? Could you give me an example when you fought for an employee? That takes people off guard. Don't be afraid to ask penetrating questions because you're going to see how your manager, whether it's a male, female, whatever, is going to respond to that. Do you fight for your people? And there's an expression of management called management by walking around. MBWA. We started like in the 50s by two guys that founded the computer company Intel. They were engineers, and what they would do is they would walk around the place around lunchtime and talk to the various employees. What are you working on? How's it going? Any problems? Any successes? What can I do to help? Management by walking around. That's my management style. I walk around. How you doing? How you doing? How's everything? You okay? Getting the help that you need? If I got people in the field, I go out and see them in the field. I don't sit on my butt. I feel I'm most effective when I'm out there mingling with my people. They need to know me. They need to see me. They need to know what's going on. I got to be active. So my point to you guys is don't be afraid to do so. Don't be afraid to be aggressive. That's a good manager. But ask those questions. What is your managerial style? Next question. What has your department accomplished in the last 3 years? If you can't say 3 things in the last 5 things in the last 3 years, there's trouble. Oh, by the way, to get the board going, tonight, the best 5 comments will be getting, what is the prize? A free training when we do on the 24th at 5:30 on Fathers Part 2. So I'm giving you guys a chance right now. You send us a comment, you're in the top 5, boom. You'll get a chance to you'll be included via an email for our training in 2 weeks at 5:30 on Fathers at 5:30 p.m. We did one on the first one, Fathers Part 1. We're going to do Fathers Part 2. We want you to be involved. We want your input. So don't be afraid again. Fathers Part 2, June 24th, 5:30 p.m. Best comments, we got you. Okay, here we go again. So ask that question. What has your department accomplished in the past 36 months? Then say to the boss with a hiring person, what did you accomplish? What have you accomplished? What have you done differently? What changes have you made? Again, it forces people to have to react. Then you can find out by looking at talking to people, is it true? Is it true what he says? Is it true what she said? Did she really do that? You start to realize what kind of person you're going to be working under. How long has your staff been here? It should be what's called a bell curve, meaning like this. You should have 3 groups of people, not necessarily a bell curve. I'm sorry about saying that. You want to have this 0 to 7, 7 to 15, 15 to 25. Ideally, it should be third, 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 meaning 0 to 7 is new people, 7 to 15 is your middle people, like your middle managers, people that want to make this into a career, and then finally 15 to 25, essentially lifers. You're putting in 25 years at a company, that's essentially a lifetime. So if you say something like that, those three types of people, how many people are in the category of 0 to 7, 1 to 7, whatever, 7 to 15, and then 15 to 25? It's a great illustration of what kind of company you have and what people think about your company and what stages are they in staying. If you get a company where it's like, well, everyone here is here less than 3 years, not necessarily a good sign. Or everyone here is 25 plus. That's actually a good sign, meaning if you get into that company, you're not going to want to leave. It means it's a really, really good company. So look at it from that angle and get a sense of, just by the hours and by the years, how much time have people put into something. I'll give you an example. Years ago, when it was still a Bible industry, newspapers were called the velvet grave, meaning if you got into work for a newspaper, you tend to stay there your whole life because the benefits were so good, the working conditions were so good, the salary was so good. Why leave? Of course, that's not the same thing today. On the flip side, they say about pharmaceutical companies, if you get into the right one and you stick with it, benefits, very pro-women, very open-minded, lets you do a lot of different things. Again, why leave? So that's, you got to kind of look at it from that perspective. So sometimes things on the surface may not look good. Then on the other side of it, things could look very, very good. Just wanted to kind of clarify there. Okay. Also, last question. How does your people acquire new skills? Do they do public speaking? Do they go to seminars? Do they put on workshops? Is there training available? How do you get new skills? How do you acquire new things? Does the company pay for training to get a degree in this, certificate in that? What is the learning opportunities at this company? Again, valid thing to know and understand. If you don't get good vibes from these kinds of questions, if not, it tells you that the department is in trouble and lacks stability. It's in free fall. You want to get a company that people are there. That's not like newbies coming in over and over and over again. Well, when I've worked for counseling companies, if I've had people say to me, "Oh yeah, every 5 months I have a new therapist," that's a problem. They can't keep therapists. Why not? Because for a patient, every 5-6 months to restart again with a social worker, clinical social worker, there's a problem there. So if every 5-6 months you got somebody new you got to talk to, yes, I was molested. Yes, I was physically abused. Yes, I did drugs. When you got to do repetitive thinking over and over and over again, it gets old. So why are people coming and going? There are companies I work for. I was the last employee out. I was still working there. They quit. I was still coming. But I was consistent. Oh, is Bruce there? Oh, is Bruce there? Oh, is Bruce there? Oh, is Bruce there? There are people I've seen now in counseling, 6, 7, going on 8 years. Still want to see you. Still want to see you. Still got issues. Not like every 6 months. Okay, that's Bruce 1. That's Bruce 2. That's Bruce 3. That's Bruce 4. That's Bruce 5. That's Bruce 6. You get the idea. So consistency, continuity are all factors. Hey, Full Moon, hey, how are you? Doing good, doing good. The board's free right now. Any questions you got, fire them in about this topic or anything else. I'm ready to listen. Thing also, you're going to be exposed to creepy coworkers. I wish I could say it's not going to happen, that there are laws that prevent this, that you can go to HR. Yes. Things are a lot better than they were 50 years ago. I'm not going to argue about that. But you're going to have coworkers that are going to run you the wrong way for a lot of different reasons. I'm not going to lie about that. People have little or no boundaries and will say things that are wildly inappropriate. And nothing will be off bounds, meaning they'll ask you questions about your personal life, your financial life, about your kids, about your husband, about your wife, about what you think of other people, nothing will be off bounds. How you handle it's up to you. I mean, that's your call. You need to go to HR. You feel you're being mistreated. I have no problem with that. I get that. No one should have to put up with any kind of verbal abuse or, God forbid, physical or sexual. Of course not. But how you're going to handle it's up to you. But I want to share with this. Many people, the reason why this has happened, I think, more and more, is that with the breakup of families and family units not around anymore, or a shell of themselves, many people look at their jobs as an extension of their families that they likely don't have, and you become part of that family. And I've seen it. I've seen people say to me, oh, she's like my daughter. He's like my son. She's like the daughter I never had. Oh, my son doesn't talk to me, but this guy, I'm his work wife. I'm his work husband. I hear that a lot because I think a lot of people, family boundaries have collapsed. People, you don't have that sense of continuity from your own families. So you're feeding off people's lives at work, and their lives in your mind are interesting, exciting, or at least more exciting than yours. So you want to know everything about them. What did you hear about Dave? What did you know about Rob? Is it true that Kim is sleeping with Joe? Oh my God. They like that. They live for that because they don't have anything going on outside to make their lives fulfilling and meaning and enjoyable. Sad but true. So be expecting of that and understand that. Always ask yourself, what is it that you can get out of the job? What are you looking to obtain? What are you looking to grow with? I look at every job that I have as a growing opportunity. At the very least, for me, working gives me a chance to meet new people that I haven't met before that can lead to other things. Okay. So true, you have to make your life worthwhile and your job too. 100%. 100%. A lot of people look at their jobs now as an extension of like the home life that they don't have, and they just don't know when to have good boundaries. They don't have good boundaries with the customers because they're just lonely, they're unhappy, they're divorced, they're miserable, whatever. But you don't want to get sucked into that. You don't want to have to think like that. You want to have your own, appropriate, healthy boundaries. But what can you get out of the job? For instance, any job I've gone into, here's what I'm looking for: experience, licensure, management experience, even a chance to see if there's something that you want to do with your working career. You want to find out, hey, is this a field that I'm actually interested in? So you work for a summer, on a construction crew. Do I really want to be a construction worker? All right, maybe you don't, but now you found out what it's about. I want to go into law enforcement. You do a thing called an explorers program. You learn what is it about. You take an internship with a police department, a criminal justice major. Maybe this is what I want to do. Even if it's like a summer job, they're invaluable for gaining experiences to see if this is a career that you find appealing and enjoyable. So don't worry about that. Even if you're in a situation that's not that great, and I've been in those, trust me, what can you get out of it to benefit you? At the very least, you're getting experience. You may need licensure for something. I need a licensure for this, for this, for this, for this. It's irrelevant what it is, but you need it. How to become a manager or a better manager, even a chance to see if it's something that you want to do. Make it work for you. Make the job work for you. Look to find, let's just say, okay, it's not working out, not a place you want to hang, you're not excited about it. That's cool. And the floor is open right now. Anyone who wants to comment or speak, feel free to do so about this or any other topic. Look to find the one or two coworkers that don't just talk to talk with mindless gossip, stupid gossip. He's sleeping with her. He comes back with booze on his breath. She's always late. He leaves early. She takes an hour and a half lunch. She disappears in the break room. He's on his computer. I think she's sleeping in her office. That's not your concern. All right? Find the one or two people at work that have the brains, that are bright, that know about your industry, that can start to give you good advice and become, in a sense, in a real sense, mentors. They can say to you, what do you need to do to go further ahead? What do you need to do to get further in your career? What courses do you need to take? Talk to him, don't talk to her. He knows nothing, she's the brains of the department. He doesn't run a thing, he's the one really in charge. It's interesting, like in coaching, how would like 99% of the coaches get their jobs? They network. They volunteer if they're high school coaches at summer camps in basketball and in football to get to know college coaches or the occasional assistant coach from the professionals that will come for like a day or two at the camp so the kids can go, oh my God, look who we brought down for you to meet, kids. That's number one. But then you see people do anything to get an assistant coaching job, and they meet people that way. Oh, hey, I heard you're looking for a new staff, or I heard he got fired. Let me put my hat in the ring. Let me give it a shot. Oh, I know this guy from 2 coaching stops ago. Let me reach out to him. It's amazing how in the coaching carousel, how many of them know each other from 20, 30 years ago. Oh, yeah, we were assistant coaches together 20 years ago. We were graduate assistants. I was in college. I spent 6 months working for free. I was working as a grad assistant at this Division II college in Colorado. It's amazing the stories that I hear. But the guys and girls that make it in coaching are the ones that pay their dues. Cut off the athletic tape, clean, vacuum the coach's room, stock up on Gatorade for the next day, make sure the laundry's being done. You got to pay your dues to get to the top, and almost every single coach will share that with you. Again, guys, floor is open. Any questions about this topic, shoot them in, fire them in, ready to rock and roll. Okay, so here's the thing again. And then let's say you want to leave. You're going to need someone to give you a good evaluation. Maybe you didn't like your boss that much, but if you're tight with 1 or 2 coworkers, boom, they will write you a letter of recommendation. Now it's all text messages and fill in the blanks. Back in the old days, you used to have to write a letter or have a phone call. The phone call is still there, but now it's a lot more texting or filling in the blanks on an email. It's a little different, but the same format. Do you like this candidate? And if you did, why? And would you hire them again? And what makes them valuable for our job? Happens all the time. They also help you give you valuable tips about trends and how to look at the long game, which is your working life. You're 25. You're going to be 65 one day. 40 years, trust me, goes like that very, very quickly. But what are they telling you to position yourself to make the right choices, to have longevity and not go from pit stop to pit stop to pit stop to pit stop? Let me talk about, letters of recommendation, doing favors for people. And I call it the favor bank. And I tell people, always make sure you're giving out more deposits than you are taking in. Taking in more withdrawals than you are taking in deposits. Meaning you're helping more people out. The withdrawals, people are going to you. And you're helping people out versus them just putting money in as a bank. When I first started working here in the state, there was a young guy at the hospital I was working at, and just a bright guy, really, really sharp, really smart. And I said, whoa, who remembers his name? I'll call him Steve. I said, what are you doing here? He told me, roundabout story. I said, you're way too smart for this job. What are your real plans? I want to be an English teacher. And there's this private school. I'm not going to get into anything like that, but famous private school. I want to teach English. What college do you go to? Whoa, that college? Yeah, you should be teaching English. And he said to me, can you write me a letter so I can, apply to this school? I write the guy the letter. I send it to the place. I said, it'd be an excellent candidate for a lot of reasons, blah, 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 blah. I don't see the guy again. I get a call 2 months later. Bruce, thank you so much for that letter. It helped me get the job. I'm teaching English now, and I love it. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciation. I thought, well, I was done. All right, one of these, you do it in a career, blah, blah, blah. I have since written, spoken, texted, emailed, filled out a form online for probably like 250 people. Whether as students, workers, what do you need me to say? What do they need to hear about you from me? And I'll do it. And I don't keep like a scorecard, like I'm up 243. I've only had to use 7 of these people. I'll tell you why, though. When I've had to use people that I knew, every single time it paid off because I had done them favors in the past. People don't forget that. You do somebody a righteous, it helps. It makes a difference. People don't forget you. You solidified a relationship. So look at it from that angle, if anything. Okay. Okay. Any advice for standing up for yourself at work for shy people? Great question. And I'm going to come to that in a few minutes. I want to talk about what you can do to stand out at work. But actually, you know what? Let's do it now. Not a problem. Here we go. Here's what I want you to learn. If you're not sure how to stand out at work, not sure, here are tips that you will learn how to do so. Number 1, always try and learn new skills wherever you are. If there's any chance of additional training, you take it. What's going to happen? You're going to learn how to meet people. You're going to get out of your shell because you're going to have to. There's a chance to learn new skills. You take every opportunity to do so. Number 1, do public speaking. People hate to talk, particularly in front of a crowd. Volunteer. Volunteer. If it's about a company launch of a new product, it's about welcoming new employees. If it's about saying something at the holiday party, it's about saying something like at Volunteer Day, getting everyone motivated. Make sure to get yourself in front of the mic and do public speaking or start talking to people so they get to see you in a different light. Do public speaking. Volunteer to mentor new employees. It's a great thing to do. New people are coming on all the time. Hi, yes, I'll volunteer. I'll mentor the new people. To get to know new people, you're going to have to talk to them. They're going to ask you a million questions. But guess what? If they have a smooth transition to work, they're going to be loyal to you. They're going to like you. And as they grow and they move up, they're going to think of you. So use it as a resource. Don't be afraid to do that. Mentor new employees. Okay. See if you can go to school at half off or even full off. A lot of places will do that for you. Big corporations, you're working in like law enforcement, corrections. You'd be surprised. You work for a school. When I say high school, college, junior college, technical college. Take classes for free. We're half off. Do it. Take advantage of these things. Again, what's happening? You're meeting new people. Okay. Volunteer to be in a position where you can meet staff from other departments. Let's plan the July 4th picnic. We have 6 departments. We're getting 2 people from each department for our 200 plus employees. Who's in charge of potato salad? Are we bringing ribs this year? Is it lemonade or is it going to be club soda? What's flavored? What kind of ice cream? You'll meet people that way. What kind of event should we have? Pin the tail on the boss. Joke, donkey. But just be, what can you do? We're going to have a watermelon eating contest. Who's in charge of the watermelons? There's a million different things that have to go into putting a party together. Who's going to get the permit? Where are they parking? They need a parking pass. Are they going to get a gift bag? What do we do with the kids? Are we going to have a clown to do face painting? Are we going to do balloons? This is how you meet people. So I hope that gives you some answers. Let me see the name. Kamran. And to give you an idea, I hope that helps you. Let us know if that did. Okay, hope you threw in 3 in a row. That's what I was going to say. Force yourself to get out there, and you'll realize the shyness that's coming from inside isn't all that bad to get over. Excellent. Good point. The more you do it, the more you'll improve and get better. And realize the situations you find anxious or embarrassing are not as bad. Exactly. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. That's what happens. Of course you're going to suck the first few times you speak. Everyone does. No one's perfect. And if you think you're going to be, you're fooling yourself. But the fact that you start to meet people and you start to talk to people and you start to be put in positions of trust and accountability, people start to like that. That's how you get, and people will start to do you favors when it comes to that. I'll give you an example. My wife, can drive me crazy, but on certain things she does have talent. She volunteered to help raise money for my son's, I think, wrestling team his senior year in high school. And she met with the coach, the assistant coach. Here's what we've done last few years. We tried this, we tried that. She said, let me see what I can do. And she did some creative things to bring in money for the team. They had like a flea market at the school. They rented out space. Like 30 people show up to sell different crafts. They raised a couple $1,000s. The coach sent out a letter saying, because of the fundraising that we had, you guys got to barely do nothing. You don't have to sell any candy. We'll sell wrapping paper. We'll Christmas paper. We're ready to rock and roll. We got money for our trips. We got money for our hotels. We're in the black. We did really, really good. So when you do these kinds of things, you'd be surprised. And you know what? I don't know if that was a factor, but they beat up my son every day in practice. And I think it was like a respect thing that they were grateful for what my wife had done for them. And they really poured a lot of effort into my kid to try and make him just at that time, basically, just learning the fundamentals since he was a senior. But you do favors for people. They don't forget that. How's this week gone so far? Super busy. Every week it's nonstop, pedal to the metal for me. I'm hoping to start an internship now in the next couple of weeks, get my drug and alcohol degree, certificate, I should say. Working on the next sets of videos, working on the next step of Fathers 2. It's going to be on the 24th at 5:30. And I'd like everyone to participate. $10 through PayPal. We did one already, and it's amazing to me again and again and again how important it is to be the best kind of father you can be. Important, so important. Every one of my counseling cases reverts back to that over and over again. So yeah, Nick, just super busy, and we got one coming out tomorrow. We did one last week. Frank Ocean Siegfried. It's coming out tomorrow. Another winner. Guy's amazing. Great looks, great message. Tell us your thoughts. We want to hear what you guys have to say. You guys know by now, if you write it, you will get a return statement from me. So if you got thoughts about it, write it. But thank you, Nick, as always. Just busy, never ends. But that's how you become successful. And when you look at your life as like a series of steps to go forward and be successful, that's what starts to happen. Okay. So I hope that helps you, Karam, with giving you some ideas. I'm not sure I'm spelling your name right. Kamran. That give you an idea. If you're a shy person, you don't have to be. Watch this video again. This video is life. But understanding yourself and making good choices so that you're in the right footsteps to go forward the right way. All right, now, here we go. Here's another thing, too. You hear a lot, this is a huge topic. I see this topic over and over and over again about toxicity, all right? About toxic coworkers, toxic managers, or cultures. Yes, it exists. Okay, it does. No argument, it does. But as long as you're going to be there, figure out what kind of manager or leader you don't want to be and the kind of manager that you do want to be. I have a long history of being around people that were supposed to be in charge that were not. And when I finally, where I am in my own position right now, I swore I wasn't going to be what I saw done to me. I was going to be better. And that's what you got to learn about for yourself is, yeah, you might be in a wreckage of a job or toxic land. I get it. And you can't escape very quickly. You got to put a couple of years in. You got a rough boss. You got loans you got to pay, school loans. I understand all of that stuff. But figure out what is it you can get from that job and make it work for you, and what lessons you're going to take with you that you don't want to see happen when you become the one in charge. Hip Hop, hey, hey, thanks. Hey, Hip Hop, how are you? That's it. What do you want to learn? I mean, I'll be honest. My agent / producer said this to me. He worked for a lot of places where the supervision was lousy, if there was even any supervision. And he said when he was going to become in charge, he didn't want to be those kinds of people. He wanted to be the kind of person that people looked up to and said, man, I want to work for this guy. Man, I want to be with this guy. Man, this guy, doesn't stop. This guy's relentless. This guy's powerful. Yeah, I feel the same way. I can't always act the way I want. There's a certain protocol you have to have in certain positions. But learn, write down what you don't want to be, what you don't want to turn into, and what you do want to turn into. Because I'll tell you right now, if you're a manager right now, if you're a supervisor right now, and you're mailing it in, everyone is going to know you're mailing it in. You're not going to fool anybody. Everyone knows what kind of effort you put in. Do you stick up for your people? Do you look out for your people? Where are you at for your people? Okay. And if you think, here's another thing. If you think that you can do better, then go out there. Go out there. See if that's true. See if you are meant to be a boss. Everyone talks about it. If I was in charge, if I was in charge, if I was in charge. There's a great Simpsons where, and they've done this like a million times, where, Doofus Homer is yelling at Flanders, who's the coach for the football team, and they're getting killed. And Homer, Flanders, you suck. And Flanders is getting more and more angry. Finally, he's like, he had enough. He's yelling at Homer. Homer goes like, you want to be in charge? You want to be in charge? You're in charge. And Homer's like, It's just funny how they did it. But I've seen that done like a million times on TV now and in movies where they just ape it, and the coach that's getting yelled at and cursed at slightly like, you think you can do better? You do better. I don't get paid for this nonsense. I'm tired of these parents. I think the kids are going to go all pro, blah, 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 blah. So if you think you got it, don't talk it. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. Okay, a couple of questions that came in. Can you do a video on Daniel Johnson? It's an album from '83 that explores his mental illness, specifically bipolar disorder, and didn't finish it. Wow. And, do me a favor, Nick. Send it to us in an email, because we lose the feed on the live streams. So send it to us in an email, and yes, I will listen to the song and I'll follow up. Thank you. I'm always looking for new artists to cover. It sounds interesting. It sounds right up our alley. Okay. Hip hop. So true. I've had so many bad managers, but it's hard to know what you would do in their position. Have to deal with the added stress and pressure. Absolutely. You think you can do better? Do better. I mean, what? You want to ask a question of why are we doing this tonight? This is, I think, like we're almost close to like, we throw everything in that we've done on the side, probably like 160 podcasts, videos, and breakdowns, and being on people's shows, blah, blah, blah. We had a meeting. We talked. It wasn't even my idea. It was my agent / manager's idea. He said, Bruce, I think we can try something. I think we can do something different. And I listened. I had enough common sense to say, you know what? I agree with the guy. He's right. Let's give this a shot. 160 or so videos later, here we are. Here we are tonight. And we're still moving forward. We're still getting creative. 24th, we're going to have it at 5:30 on Fathers Part 2. We're moving towards paid trainings, which is inevitable to monetize the site. But you get a ton of information, a ton of awareness. We do the live streams now, like once or twice a month, get new people a chance to speak to us and talk to us. But it was because we said we could do better. We think we got an idea here that's winnable, that's marketable, that has legs on it. So it's a great point by hip hop. And that's the thing, too. If you think you can do better than your manager, see what it's like to be a manager. And all of a sudden, you got people playing games with vacation, sick time, their work effort. They're really motivated. They're really into it. Or they just, running a string. You find out what it's like to be in charge of people, and you don't get what you need back from them. So learn what that's like. See what it's like to have to make payroll or have to get stuff done in a certain time where when you're working with Medicaid, my God, the paperwork that's required is just insanity. How much I wrote, how much my bosses had to write just to keep money coming in. Crazy. So see what it's like. And then see if it's true. It's a good test to see what you're made of. Worst that can happen is that you fail. You can get it out of your system and go back to working for somebody else. Not everyone is cut out to be their own boss. They think they are. Oh man. It's like guys will say, I can manage that team. Coach you're stupid. You don't know nothing. I can just step right in, sure, and get fired. I could be my boss's boss. I could do what he does or she does. It's not so simple. There's a certain delicacy. You got to learn how to manage things, how to manage people. But give it a shot. How to juggle schedules and people's personalities. There was a great movie called Training Day. Get to the questions in a second. He made a comment like halfway through the movie with Ethan Hawke. Denzel Washington plays the road cop, and he says to him, like, I'm a sergeant and I got 6 guys, I think it was 6 guys under me, and I got 6 different set of problems, and I need to know now, are you going to be a 7th problem, or are you going to be somebody that I can rely on? And I thought, man, I can relate to Denzel. I know what he's talking about. Wow. It's like I'm sitting in that coffee shop with him. I can relate. I'm there with Denzel. I have 6 people underneath me, and I got 6 different set of problems. Yeah. I remember in The Sopranos, Christopher having some kind of panic attack, mental health issues, and he does something really stupid. He's in the car with Tony Soprano, and he did something really, really dumb. And the look that Tony Soprano gave him was like, can anybody's crew do what I tell them to do once, right, the first time, and not screw it up? Anyone know the pressure that I'm under with these dum-dums? And like, they're like, well, Tone, why are you so upset? Why are you so angry? Because I told you not to do something, and you still did it dumb. Frustrating. So learn what it's like to be a boss. So true. I had so many bad managers, but it's hard to know what you do in their position. I had to deal with the added stress and pressures. Yeah, Brian, true. When I started working, I started understanding what my parents go through. Oh, they have probably their own business. Yeah, it's not meant for most people because you got to be there not at 8 o'clock. No. You got to be there at 7:30 to open up the store and get things going. Turn on the lights. Make sure there's nothing happen overnight. Look at the inventory. Check the emails. Check the phone messages. Check the text messages. Check the website. Make sure the place if it's raining, snowing, hailing, windy, is the area in front of the store clean? Check out the back. Any homeless guy sleeping in the traffic area? Anything happened last night? Someone tried to break in. Make sure the bathrooms are clean. Are they stocked? Is any merchandise full around during the night? You don't get in at 8. You get in at 7:30, 7:15. You don't leave at 5. That's another fantasy. You leave when the job is done. Something's broken, you better fix it. Something's not there, you better find it. It's your money. You got payroll every 2 weeks. You got to make it. They don't get paid. They're going to walk. So you got to take money out of your check if things are slow. Do I do a sale? I lose 50%, but it's still 50 cents better than nothing. So that's reality. There's no holidays. You work. You take off certain days of the year. I get it. But a lot of places, 7 days a week. Can't afford to close. Life. Find out what it's like to be the boss. Maybe you love it. Maybe you don't. But get it out of your system. See what you're made of and see what you bring to the table. Okay. Always try. I sing you the album. Thank you, Nick. Okay. Always try to learn, like I was saying to the other guy, learn new skills wherever you are. To the other, commentator. Learn new skills. Get what you can out of the job. The biggest thing for me in any job I've ever had is contacts. Because the more people I meet, the more people I know, the more my collection of contacts grows. That if I need a favor, not now, maybe 5 years down the road, I've made that connection. So contacts. I know there are people that are obsessed with stealing office supplies. All right, good for you. They're stealing copy paper. They like to use the computer. They like, whatever. I mean, it's me. It's so penny ante. It's so ridiculous. I look at any job I have as contacts. Hey, my agent / producer was a contact. That's how I met him, through somebody else. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? He was recommended. I was recommended to him by a mutual friend that we both had. So you talk about contacts, it pays. Always the biggest thing in any kind of job that you do is contacts. How can you increase your contact base? incredible, and that's the favor bank. The favor bank. Do more favors for people than they do for you. You may need to do a withdrawal every once in a while. That's fine. But take that many more deposits and do favors for other people. Believe me, it spreads and it will help you. Okay. Oh, another thing, too, I wanted to share about this as well. Be aware of this. And I know it's not easy. I've been caught in this. I've gotten involved in this, and it's stupid and it sucks. But it's just a lesson to always learn. Try to avoid gossiping about others. Try and avoid it. Keep your thoughts to yourself. And if people say to you, well, what do you think of him? What do you think of her? Can you believe she did that? What do you think about that situation? Just say, man, I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you. I'm really sorry it happened. Blah, blah, blah. She was a nice person. Seemed like a nice guy. Be neutral. Be beige. Because here's the next step. Anything you share with other people will be shared with the entire workplace. So just remember, anything you share will be shared with the other people. For years, what did I do? I had on my wall a photo of the Dallas Cowboys. And I had a picture on my desk of a young kid who was from Vietnam. And they'd say, oh, you like the Cowboys? Love them. Yeah, big Cowboy fan. I don't like the Cowboys. I like the Jets. That's my team. And as for that kid, just a kid I did Photoshop on. I cropped it out so I could talk about my supposed son who loves soccer and we adopted. Who cares? I made it up because I wanted to keep neutral. Keep neutral. I'm going to share things. You share things about your family, about anything important. People are going to pick up on it and they're going to use it against you. Trust me. Okay. The boss works the hardest. People don't appreciate that. So true. Don't complain. Don't explain. Koji, yeah. Don't complain. Don't explain. Absolutely. I get people that say things like, I need to know what this person's doing all day. It's not your job. It's not your purpose. By the way, we're getting some really, really great comments. We're going to contact you in a few minutes, and you're going to be told you got a free training in 2 weeks to attend Father's Part 2 on us. We think it's so valuable. We want other people to hear it. We get nice responses from these trainings more and more. But we want you guys who are commenting, so throw the comments out now. Now's the time for comments. Separate yourself from the pack. Get a free training out of this 2 weeks at 5:30. Come in with the comments. The best comments, the top 5, will get free training passes in 2 weeks. On fathers, a topic that is incredibly important and what I'm going to talk about again and again and again, but be part of it from the very beginning. Okay. Nick, do you think the internet age has made people more depressed, or has it just made mental illness more regularly talked about? I think it's definitely two-part. I got to agree with both parts. There's no doubt that the amount of depression and anxiety and stress has definitely gone up. And I think that's because people find themselves competing against the internet. Do I have a cool life like it's shown to me online? Do I have a perfect rockin' bod, a six-pack where I can wear a bikini with confidence? Am I big and muscular? Do I have a really hot-looking car? What does my house look like? Is my job really sexy and glamorous and cool? So you're competing with the internet, and you got people who are like haters, angry, who are cut off. Only way they get any kind of satisfaction is by ripping you. You suck. You suck. Color of your skin, your religion. I hate you. Drop dead. Die. You didn't vote for the right political party. You live here. You live there. You can't relate. A lot of anger because people feel disenfranchised. At the same time, mental illness has become so mainstream now that everyone is saying things like, I have anxiety, I have stress, I am bipolar, I'm schizophrenic and bipolar, which is a new one. I haven't heard. That only came out a couple of years ago. I'm schizophrenic and bipolar. That's a new one for me. But hey, I hear a lot of that when people saying it. I'm on this med, I'm on that med. Bruce, I've been suicidal for a while. Things that people never talked about in public, now they just share it all the time. I mean, the president's son, Hunter Biden, released a biography, and he talked excessively about the depths of drug usage that he found himself in, like totally out of control. Would that have happened 25 years ago? Absolutely not. Okay. Hip Hop just sent you an email. Perfect. So that's what's happening. Yeah, definitely. Good question. And that's happening more and more. I think the internet is just a monster you can never beat. It's like going into a MMA match. I don't care how much you train for it, you just can't compete in it, and you get knocked to the ground, you get smacked around. It's 5 rounds of a blood fest, which is only your blood. Like, unless you understand what the internet is and what it isn't. But for many, many people, it's about, keeping score. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm not as pretty. I'm not as handsome. I don't have enough money. Look at my car. Look at my life. Look at my kids. Look how I live. I don't go here. I don't do this. I'm a loser. And that's where that depression sets in. And plus, what is the internet great about? I can sit right here now tonight, turn on a couple of keychains, a couple of channels like that, and I could watch stuff the rest of my life. The diversity is amazing, but it's what you watch that defines who you are. So yes, good question. I think that self-consciousness is a major reason, but the regularity of horrible news being shared and it being easier to find is giving people the idea that the world is worse than it. Great comment. Great comment. I'm going to read that out loud. I think that self-consciousness is a major reason, but the regularity of horrible news being shared and it being easier to find is giving people the idea that the world is worse than it is. Absolutely. I'll tell you a story. I was in college, so let's say almost 40 years ago, and I was looking to do internship. That day was just becoming, popular, and I went to a TV station, and it was one of the channels in New York City, and the woman that gave me the tour said, our motto, if it bleeds, it leads. That was TV 40 years ago. Now, everything is graphic. Everything is in your face. What can I show is the worst? The worst hatred, the worst venom, the worst anger. And people that are sick, that are violent, that are cruel, that are mean, they live off that because it's competition. I mean, I was watching something on Netflix called The Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez killing people, unfortunately raping children, raping women, killing anything, unfortunately, is finally caught after about 9 months. And the frenzy of him going to court, immense. This is in the 80s. So 85, 50, so 35 years later, the internet frenzy of this would have been unprecedented. It would have been huge. Copycat, let me do what he's doing. So yeah, when you see people doing horrible things, you realize what the ante is. You got to go higher. Oh, 4 dead, I got to get at least 7. Oh, 15 dead, I got to go 25. Oh, I got to bomb something? I can't just bomb one church. I got to bomb a church, a synagogue, and a mosque. I got to be noticed. So the intensity has gone higher and higher. Can't just beat them up. I got to beat them up to kill them. That's what's happening now. You're right. And you don't see that the good in the world is because it's being overshadowed by, the viral rhetoric, I hate you, drop dead, die. You don't agree with me, you're an idiot, you're a loser. I can't hear two sides. Everything has become so polarized. That's what's happening. So it's a good point. Very, very good point. So here's the thing, too. So give it a chance to see what it's like to work for others and get an idea. Now, we talked about learning the new skills, all of these things. So, and here's another thing, too. Whatever you share with other people will be shared with everyone else. Trust me. Keep your thoughts to yourself. And if you get a chance to chip in for a birthday or holiday party, do so. Never be like, give $5, give $7, Christmas party, New Year's Eve party. Give a couple of bucks, show up, have a Coke, have some potato chips, eat someone's cake, go back to work. It shows you're part of the crew. And if there is a gathering outside of work, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. If there's something going on outside of work, go. Here's the thing about outside parties, and people often make this as a mistake. When you go to a party and they say, what do you want to drink? You say, I'll have a bottle of water. I'll have a Diet Coke. I will have, an orange juice, a tomato juice. Try and stay off the alcohol, or if you have a drink, make it one. Do not drink to excess. I'll tell you why. Because people get impressions of you when they see you with alcohol. So if you don't have alcohol in your hand at a party like that, try and not to drink. Eat all you want. God, I've been to a million parties where Filipinos are there, and they got this. I mean, the food is insanely good. It's crazy to me. It smells delicious. Eat the food. Compliment food, because one beer can oftentimes leads to 2, leads to 4, leads to 7. Then something happens on a negative basis. Try and keep the alcohol to a minimum. That's all I'm saying. Got some questions here. I think that self-consciousness is a major reason, but the regularity of horrible news being shared and being easier to find get worse is. Okay. Hey, Gene says hello. Hey, Gene, how you doing? Tell us a little more what's going on. Always like to hear from new people, new faces. How'd you hear about the channel? Kind of curious. So I want to share that. Use discretion when you go to a holiday party. Yeah, have one drink. I get it. Be social, be merry, but lay off the heavy alcohol. It's not worth it. Okay, I heard when you reviewed the death. Yeah, thank you. Still getting comments on that. And as regards to the death grips, guys, thank God the numbers, at least in Nevada, are definitely going downward, as is in much of the country. And everyone's gearing up for the concert season to start probably around July 4th, August 1st, whatever. If Death Grips plays in the Southwest within 4 or 5 miles of Vegas, or they come to Vegas, my agent / producer and I are going. End of story. We're going to be there. I don't care what tickets cost. It's irrelevant to me. We're going. And even if for some reason I can't get tickets, we're still going to the concert. We're going to stand outside, and we're going to hold up signs saying, "This is Bruce. We're SUNRIDGE, Nevada. We want to meet everybody that's here for Death Grips. We want to meet people." That's what we're going to be doing. So, yes, I'm glad you like that song. I'm glad that we did 2 breakdowns of them. We'll do more of their music in the future. They're just a great band, great message, very, very impressive. So I want you to understand that thing about it and how people look at you from that. Also, got another question here. Thanks for the video. Also heard about you guys from the song analysis, but I'm really loving this other content. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. We don't shy away from anything. Okay, I'll be honest about that. There's not a topic, not a genre, not an issue that hasn't happened in the last 5 years in this country that we haven't explored. We touch everything. Nothing intimidates us. Nothing frightens us. We write back to everybody. The trainings are just a different way to get to know us because it's a smaller group of people. You're getting me in a different context. There's homework. There's analysis. There's things for you to think about. There's statistics. Join the trainings. They are incredibly useful. They will help you. And I can tell you this just from last week alone, working with families, working with individuals, working with couples, it's the same thing. I did not get what I needed from my father, and I'm messed up and I need help. Fathers. And even if you think you suck at being a father, I want to help you learn how to become a good father and a better father. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up. There's so many things you need to learn. There's no doubt in my mind in a couple of years, we're going to have a monthly fathers group, 2-3 hours long, of people just coming in and having one father question after the other, and it's going to be national. It's going to come. It's going to happen. Fathers are vital. See a couple of comments here. Okay. Tiny XDG, any advice for someone with ADD and trying to work from home? Absolutely. Set yourself a schedule. I can't stress that enough. Here, let me show what works for me. I'm old school, so it's important for me to do it this way. Hang on, my wallet. This is what I do every couple of days. I write down what has to get done. That's it. And I have it in front of me at night or at my office, and I just leave it out. And even if I'm like tired, I don't want to do it, I'm like, I got to do it. And when I finish it, I throw it away and start another one. I must have gone through thousands of these. Some people use their phone. I know it's a big thing now, using your phone as a reminder. Do that. You got an ADHD issue, ADD, Use your phone. Ding, ding, ding. 9 o'clock. Did you get this done? Keep yourself on a schedule. Don't let yourself cheat. Okay? And if you're working from home, what is your steps? What do you got? How much money do you have to make each day to be successful? Each week, each month? What's your next goal? So at the end of the week, what were your goals that you needed to hit? What's the next project coming on? Put everything down on a computer, on a spreadsheet, Excel. I don't care how you do it, but you got to do it that way. It's going to help you out tremendously. Okay. What are your thoughts on a law being passed to prevent trans people to play sports? You know what? This is going to go on for the next 15, 20 years. I see this happening. There's a lot of issues, pro and con. Some issues about, like a male to a female, or, female to a male. Is there additional strength? Is it really fair against a female or a male competitor? Is that right? It's going to be interesting to see how this plays itself out. And it's going to have huge impact in high schools when it comes to athletics, obviously. That's going to be the first issue. Could you have a male to female soccer player, female to male, football player? All this is going to happen. So we're just seeing the very beginnings of it, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how these people are going to be treated as they go forward. So my answer is going to be right now is I'm waiting to see what happens, to be honest. I do that too. Thank you. No problem. Yeah. Set yourself up with goal after goal. Write everything down and what it is you have to accomplish to be successful. That's what I do. I'm always writing down, like, what are my goals for the week, for the next 2 weeks, for the month, for the 3 months, 6. What I want to hit in, a year from now, salary-wise, what I want to get done work-wise. So do that kind of stuff. That's going to help you. From a medical standpoint, estrogen and other hormone supplements make people weaker. Okay, yeah. It's a fascinating topic, Nick, because, I'm interested to see how it's going to relate to people. We'll get more studies done. We'll get more awareness done, and we'll move forward. I mean, that's what makes life interesting, in a sense that things don't stay the same. Things change. That's what's interesting to me. All right, guys, what we're going to do is this now. We have 5 people that my agent/producer has been faithfully tracking, and I'm going to read off their names, the 5 of you, and you have been selected for a free training in 2 weeks, June the 24th at 5:30, SUNRIDGE of Nevada at gmail.com. So here we go. Number 1, Hip Hop Unwrapped. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Number 1, Hip Hop Unwrapped. Number 2, Nick N. Thank you. Number 3, Hoagie. Number 3. Number 4, Tiny GXD. Tiny GXD. And number 5, Matt Waterman. Number 5, Matt Waterman. SUNRIDGE of Nevada at gmail.com. And contact us so we can send you the link to get you going. And hang on one second. I want to read the names one last time so there's no more confusion. Number 1, Hip Hop Unwrapped. Number 2, Nick N. Number 3, Hoagie. Number 4, Tiny GXD. Number 5, Matt Waterman. Please send us an email so we can send you the link. SUNRIDGE of Nevada at gmail.com. Okay, let me get the last couple of questions. Do you think the increase in people identifying as trans has to do with the lowering rate of testosterone? It's a great question. There's so much stuff going on about that. With study at this, the amount of men having less testosterone has decreased markedly. It's a very good question. They think it has to do with global warming, the food that we're eating. There's definitely factors at bay here. It's an interesting question. Very good question. I've been lurking on your channel since your Mac Miller video. So glad I subscribed. Thank you, Koji. Very happy to see that. And Gene Pavia, and same. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm just about to finish here. Any last questions? Fire them off right now. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Any last comments? And I appreciate the questions. I hope this gives people some ideas. And write us back. Tell us, does this make sense for a career for yourself? Are you going to follow any of these ideas? You're going to see how it applies to yourself. Do you look at your work differently now? And last comment of all, do you need the job more than the job needs you? That's what I say every week at my job. Until I'm ready to leave or I got something amazingly better, I'm not taking it seriously. IT person here, I often get teased of better opportunities money-wise. I'm a good place, but money is not that great. I'm learning a lot. Uh, I'm learning a lot, though. When I know that I'm not selling, when do I know that I'm not selling myself too short? Okay, here's a good question. Here's the thing. When you start getting consistent offers that are higher than your salary and your people are not recognizing your true talents, then it's time to walk. That's all. When you're starting getting offer after offer, you're dipping your toe into seeing what headhunters think of you, what a job fair thinks of you, and you're starting to get significant more money, and you go to your company and you say, hey, I'm just letting you know, have a meeting with your company manager and say, where does this company and yourself see me in the next 3 to 5 years? Am I going to go up? Am I going to stay the same? Will my pay stay the same? What do you think of me? And once you get that answer, you're going to know where you stand, because now you'll see what you're really worth and how to go forward. And last question, how to deal with a mother that won't accept being gay? I'm assuming that you're referring to yourself. You know what? You are what you are. Let her know that. Tell her it doesn't affect the fact that you're still her son. You're always going to love her. I hope she's love you. But this is who you are. And let it go. You can't do more than that. You can't think and feel for other people. You just do the best that you can. End of story. Good luck with that. Let us know how that goes. Everybody, thanks for all the comments, all the questions. Hope this gave you some insight. Again, when I was talking about, the Dallas Cowboys motto and a little picture of a kid that was not my kid, it was just a way to keep the conversation neutral, not share things. Learn those kinds of concepts. Learn how to think that way and keep things at times to a minimum, except for very, very, very close friends that you can trust. They're not going to share what you don't want to be shared. Everyone, thanks again. Bruce Mufson, SUNRIDGE, Nevada. Again, 24th, 5:30. I'm pushing fathers too. Send us the link. We'll send you the link. $10 from PayPal. It's a huge bonus. It's a huge bargain. Thank you.